Hi friends of Grado Zero. We are here in the Jurisprudence Investigation Institute with Professor Kenneth Himma to realize a brief interview about his paper that he gives at UNAM last week and this Monday. Thank you very much for giving us this interview. Professor, what is your view about Dworkin and his interpreted theory of law? How is important to Dworkin's theory for legal theory?
Well, I don't think this part of it doesn't need to be said, but I'll say it anyway. I think Dworkin is one of the most outstanding figures in legal philosophy, not just of the 20th century, but of all time. In fact, I would regard him as one of the most important philosophers of all time. Having said that, Dworkin conceives himself to be engaging in the same kind of game that H.L.A. Hart engaged in. Now, I have some doubts about that. If you think of Dworkin as doing something different than H.L. Hart did, then you get some real value out of the interpretive theory. For example, if you regard his interpretive theory as a normative theory about how judges should decide cases, then I think he's absolutely dead on. His work on the moral reading of the Constitution, for example, I think is extremely important. He does make normative claims, and as far as the normative claims that he makes, I'm pretty much on board with all of them, including his idea that the conceptual function of a legal system is to provide a moral justification for the use of the police power. I think I agree with everything that he says about how judges should decide cases, and he also makes factually descriptive claims about how judges do in fact decide cases. All that stuff, I think, is absolutely important. Its value can't be overstated. Where I disagree is simply with the idea that, contrary to Dworkin's own beliefs, he and Hartian positivists are playing a different game.
Okay, what distinguishes conceptual of other kinds of legal theorizing?
Okay, there are three kinds of legal theory, and I'll start from what I would consider the bottom up. There's factually descriptive legal theory, which is concerned with what is actually happening in this or that particular legal system. For example, somebody who writes a law review article about what the particular law is on a specific issue is doing factually descriptive legal theory. That person isn't making any claims that have to apply to all legal systems that exist or might possibly exist. Those claims are about the specific legal system under consideration. Normative legal theory, which I think is the most important kind, seeks to determine the conditions under which law is good or a legal system is justified in using its coercive enforcement mechanisms in response to violations of the law. Now, the conceptual theory is what I do, and just a reference to refer back to the earlier question. I think Dworkin takes himself to be doing conceptual theory, but I think what he's really doing is a lot of outstanding normative theory, and also he does some descriptive theory. He talks about how judges typically do decide cases. What conceptual theory is something like this. I'll try to give you an idea with a simple example. The concept of a bachelor. Well, in English that means unmarried adult male. Okay, now what that means is this: that this is a theory, a conceptual theory. It has the form of a dictionary definition, but it's more than that. It's a conceptual theory, and the distinguishing feature of a conceptual theory is this: that the answers are, if they're true, are necessarily true. For example, going back to the concept of bachelor, it's not just a fact that all bachelors are male. It's impossible. It's actually impossible for a female to be a bachelor. So conceptual analysis, conceptual jurisprudence trades in necessary claims about what is possible for law to be and what law necessarily has to be. So the factual, to reiterate a bit, the person who's doing factually descriptive legal theory isn't making any claims about how things must be, no matter what. He or she is making claims about how things are in a particular legal system with respect to a particular body of law or particular legal practice.
Okay, for the last question, what about your new projects that you have on mind?
Well, as far as the new projects that I have in mind, I'm very much interested, as somebody who has done conceptual analysis and done it my whole career, I'm very much concerned with an issue that's become really hot lately. And that issue is, what are the rules for doing conceptual analysis well? What's the appropriate methodology? Should moral norms figure into our determination of what the content of a concept is? Is it illegitimate intellectually to consider moral norms as playing a role? So my concern here for my next project is a book on conceptual methodology. I have very definite views about conceptual methodology that would clash with Dworkin's. Dworkin believes that if you want to do conceptual analysis right about the law, you have to take into account certain moral norms. I think that view is wrong. So in the following book, I'll take on normative methodology such as is embraced by Ronald Dworkin most notably, and a number of other figures, and then something called naturalized jurisprudence, which is championed by Brian Leiter, who claims that there's no such thing as necessary truths, and that conceptual analysis is sort of on a par with factual descriptive analysis. The two methodologies are continuous with scientific methodology, another claim I disagree with. So that's the next project that I have in mind.
Thank you very much for this brief interview, and thank you, partners of Grado Cero. Thank you, goodbye.
And thank you very much for the honor of interviewing me for the faculty and students at UNAM. I've had a wonderful time here. I'm honored to come down here. I get great feedback from both students and faculties on anything I present. It's been a wonderful experience. I hope you will have me back, and thank you again for the honor of being interviewed by you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Good.